Hello again. My name is Quincy Durand, and welcome back to the Bastard Children of Everil and Bardoon adventure. Previously on the Bastard Children of Everil, the bastards continued south inside the sewers. Quincy brought up a folktale he had remembered about a horrible mutated rat named Lord Shiver. Buddy and Quincy teamed up and played a prank on the others, making it appear as if Buddy was about to be skewered by Lord Shiver's sliver of wood. Their laughter is interrupted by the sound of a terrifying creature that had snuck up behind them. A combination of a wolf, spider, and scorpion known as a Spovin. The bastards got into fighting position, and Helaena made the first strike. The Spovin leapt to bite one of them, but Abydan struck it with his rapier, and Quincy put it to sleep with his pan flute. As they decided what to do, Buddy had magic spew from him in a powerful blast of energy, illuminating the sewers beyond the light of Quincy's sword. This revealed dozens of Spovin about to attack them. Helaena held them off long enough for everyone to escape out of a nearby grate. They continued heading south on foot, and they discussed what it was like having siblings growing up. The bastards reached the southern gate, which was heavily guarded as the city was on lockdown. Helaena took the lead, and came up with a story to get them out of the city. As she was speaking to the guard received a water call from Herrix himself, telling them to apprehend Helaena. Quincy caused a distraction using minor illusion, and Helaena made one last threat, and the guard abandoned his post to check on the distraction. They quickly ran past all of the guards through the gate, dodging paralyzing arrows and finally escaping into the Red Benavix Forest. Once they had ran about an hour out of the city, they stopped to catch their breath. They then noticed that here too was a black, purple, and red smoke from before. And that is where we are in the Bastard Children of Everil, a Bardoon adventure. And the story continues now.
And welcome back, gang.
Hey.
Hello, hello.
Hola.
Only two of you. Hello. Oh, okay. There's more of you. Hello.
I plead the fifth.
Already?
Kind of thought we were still supposed to be quiet, so.
No, we're going. Let's get on into this. Hey, gang. Let's jump on into this thing. Really quick. That was a great recap. By the way, that was awesome for those of you who listened to it in post.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, whoever does the recap has a very sexy voice.
He's just
That is
hot.
very true. He's hot.
So good.
He's hot.
Oh no, he's hot.
Picture his voice in its underwear.
No.
Oh my gosh, no. Okay. So what we're going to do real quick, just for a quick go over real quick, let's introduce ourselves again. My name is Noah Woodyard. I am the Dungeon Master for this podcast. And then let's go to Abydan Renevar.
Hello, everybody. It's me, Noah Carter. I'm playing Abydan Renevar.
Hey everyone, it's your local himbo here, Chaz, and I play Buddy Luckyhands, the eight-fingered menace of doom. I don't know.
Seven-fingered.
We established that I don't know how to count last time.
Right.
That's called a callback.
Oh,
Yeah, that was a callback that I just absolutely missed.
this is Tara Games playing Helaena Ilias.
This is Jason playing Quincy Durand. How do you do?
Love it.
This is Kate Harris playing Tilda Fairfoot.
Very good. All right. It seems like our listeners know who we all are at this point. Let's not delve any more into that. Where we last left off with things, look, they've listened to hours upon hours of us talking at this point. It's great. They know who we are. They know what we look like, all that sort of good stuff. So let's jump on into this. You all are in the Red Benavix Forest. After sprinting for about an hour, just to clear yourselves away from the city of Everil. want to take a step back and describe the forest for just a second. The forest is rather noisy when you all first approach, and now that you've gotten deeper into it, it's definitely that there are creatures that are scurrying about, and the wind seems to be blowing in all directions, not necessarily maliciously, but in the sense that things are moving. You all are familiar with the Benavix tree, which is the name of the, Red Benavix Forest, the Benavix tree, knowing that it is typically as hard as a rock, but it is light as a feather as well. And it's so that the branches constantly sway, but they rarely break. You can hear the rustling of these beautiful pine needles and branches moving around, almost like whispers surrounding you. The ground is covered in golden needles and leaves that are gradually turning brown, giving the illusion that the forest is potentially more alive than ever, and potentially also on fire, as the red branches, the red leafage of the trees begin to give a sort of iridescent glow or light around them, surrounded by the breaking daylight that you guys are still within. With that being said, there's plenty of other types of flora, there's plenty of other types of animals that are around that you all may investigate and figure out what may be worth having nourishment for you, because guess what? You guys don't have rations. You guys are going to have to figure out how best to go about this. So that's where we're actually going to start off. The mist is at your ankles. This weird blackish red mist seems to almost be pulling you guys more south, which is the direction that you guys went in the first place. Now it seems as though you're far enough away. You may be able to take a breather here for a moment. With that being said, that's exactly where we're going to start, with you guys discussing what you all want to do next. Quincy Durand.
Yeah, point of clarification. Lots of the pack that we got from our daddy old pal come with rations. So if they were included in that, would we still have those?
They would, but bear in mind that you guys pulled that out of a chest. You're not 100% sure how reliable those rations are going to be for a prolonged period of time.
I mean, if they're dry,
I was going to say, hardtack never goes out of fashion.
Good old hardtack, breaking teeth since the 800s.
800s, yeah, 800s.
Hardtack didn't come around until the Civil War. Just letting you know.
That's when the Civil War.
No, because pirates did anyway.
Pirates in 800.
Technically, I mean, Julius Caesar was captured by pirates.
Okay.
You know what? I was thinking Jack Sparrow.
The fictional captain, Jack Sparrow.
We've gotten a little bit off track with hardtack, so yes, bringing it back in. So Quincy will eye the blackish red mist very suspiciously and kind of keep his hand on the pommel of his sword. Okay, well, I guess this is how the forest looks now. Do you think that anything is going to jump out at us?
Yes,
With
absolutely.
the day we've had, yes.
This is my first time leaving the city, and I gotta tell you, quite frankly, it sucks.
Like ever? You've never been outside the walls?
What's there to leave? Why would I ever have a reason to leave Everil?
This forest is magnificent. I mean, we used to come out here on family outings every now and then.
Okay, I get it. You grew up with a family.
Yes, sorry to rub that in, but it's clearly being corrupted somehow.
Tilda, you're good with nature stuff, right?
Animals, not trees.
Okay, but what is a tree but an animal with a cell wall?
Sure. It is quite autonomous. You know, it looks like fall.
Are you okay?
Guys, I think
we were just running for a really long time. I just caught up to you. I have short legs.
That's fair. We should.
I don't like this mist.
Next time we run, we should have someone carry you.
Someone can put me on their shoulders. I will let that happen
That's a
You have to run.
I think we have 2 volunteers, but it's not going to be me.
I didn't suspect it would be.
How many of you have trained for survival situations?
Me,
You kidding?
I have.
I've been surviving.
Fantastic.
Occasionally.
The School of the Streets. Streets of Everil. School of Hard Knocks. That's where I learned how to survive, baby.
Yes, but can you tell the difference between a berry that will kill you and one that won't?
If the berry's holding a knife, I'm going to assume it's going to kill me. If not, I'm going to eat it.
Oh,
In a metaphorical sense, he is right, but
that wasn't a metaphor. That was just nonsense. Okay.
The berries are a metaphor for the people who I would spend time with.
are we the berries?
No, you're not
Like-
sweet enough for that.
Tilda?
Like Buddy, I also have not been outside the walls of Everil, though I have been surviving in the streets and along the edges and the sewers the past couple, well, less of the sewers, more the taverns. I would not touch a berry that any animal would not touch, but I also can talk to them so they can tell us what is good and what is not. That's about where my survival in the woods goes.
Keep in mind, if you're trying to eat anything, break it open and rub it on your skin first to see if there's a reaction. Please, for the love of God, I know all of us wouldn't do this, but some of us might. Don't just pick things up and eat it when your stomach growls.
I'm picking up plants right now, breaking them and rubbing them on my skin.
Very good, Chaz. As you do that, or Buddy, as you do that, go ahead and make a nature roll for me, please.
Nature. Oh, a whopping +0. That is a gentleman's 3.
That's good.
That's
The
good.
first thing that you pick up is sort of like a clover. It's a yellow and green clover that you just pluck up, and the roots come up with it, and you begin rubbing that on your skin vigorously, and you immediately begin to smell the sweet smell of honey.
Smells like honey.
Buddy,
Did I do this right? I'm following your advice, Helaena.
Buddy, do you just follow anyone's advice blindly? That sounded kind of like a hazing ritual to me.
Listen,
It
It wasn't. Seriously, if you wait about 20 minutes, you'll know whether it's going to cause a reaction or not.
What if the plant is poisonous and it kills you upon touching your skin somehow? There's probably plants like that, but it
Well,
could be
no,
dead in 20
I
minutes.
can promise you that that is a 22 performance check.
Insight.
I'll let it stand.
Do you actively vomit?
No, I'm acting like I'm seizing.
Seizing,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Insight. I need a roll off, Chaz.
I rolled a 22. That's your
A raw 20. You can't roll a
no, an
22 on
18 plus 4.
I rolled a 17 plus a 5.
That's a roll off.
Yeah.
You didn't
No,
roll
no.
again.
If it meets, it beats.
Oh,
If it meets, it beats. Which means Abydan understands this is once again a prank, but it's a very convincing prank.
Could I say that it's deception instead of performance so I beat it? Because I'm proficient in deception.
Nah, you called your
Okay,
shot.
fine.
Yeah, you called your shot on that one. What you're holding, though, is easily identifiable, at least to Helaena and Tilda, is just called honeyleaf clover. It's a yellow and green clover that, when the roots are boiled, makes a syrup like honey. So you vigorously wiping it on your skin created that honey smell. This is effectively what could be made into a simple syrup.
You're just sticky now, boy.
What else is new?
Are you okay, buddy? You seemed like you were seizing out 1 second, and now you're just.
Yeah. You know, I'm just a bit of a prankster. It's how I lost a few fingers.
Honestly, if we get hungry enough, we could just take one of your fingers. You seem to be willing to give them up.
I don't think it'll come to that just
that's not
yet.
funny. Only I can joke about that.
There's
I
like that.
thought you lost your fingers gambling.
I did.
Okay, great. Anyway, we have a little bit more pressing matters to attend to. We have
What
Black
is this mist?
Mist here.
Can we follow the mist?
I mean, yeah. How is the mist shaped? I mean, is it just like this pull on the entire forest floor?
It is on the forest floor. It raises up to be about 4 inches off of the ground. It doesn't seem to be coming from a particular area specifically, but you guys have noticed that as you guys have been running more southbound, that it is getting a little bit denser, but it still is hovering just at ground.
Are we experiencing any respiratory effects or like physical effects from the mist?
Just the normal of you being out of shape. And not doing a whole lot of sprinting.
Excuse me?
But that would be two.
That's me.
That would probably be Buddy and Tilda, maybe.
No, my constitution score suggests that I have endurance. I'm just gonna.
Like, I'm in shape. I'm just short, and we've been running for an hour. So,
Yes.
though I have a negative
Okay.
2 to athletics. So
Is there
maybe
anything I can tell about the fog? Like, does it seem to be actively writhing? I mean, like similar to the one with Shaverra.
Yeah.
Sure. No, that's a great question. Quincy and Abydan, go ahead and make Arcana rolls for me, please.
Oh, nice.
Arcana.
Arcane.
Oh my gosh.
This ain't it, Chief.
That's a 1 for a total of 4.
Crit
shut up.
fail.
I got an 11 for a total of 11.
11. Yeah.
Let's go, gang. This looks to be just some sort of... this fog looks almost as though it was dyed a specific color. There's no magical essence. Yeah, I know, it's weird to imagine a dyed fog, except for like, I don't even know what that would be called.
Fog.
But this...
Fog and a light.
So actually, I do know how to describe this. Instead of thinking so much as like a misty fog, imagine more like smog that comes from the forest fires. Except it's blackened, almost like soot.
it's only
Okay.
on the bottom of the forest
Only
floor.
on the bottom, like 3-4 inches of the forest floor.
Do we? You said it's not coming from anywhere specifically, but do we think it's coming from the ground itself and it's rising, like coming up, or is it just sitting there?
That's where I'm going to cause the nature roll. Make a nature roll, Tilda.
Since I got a crit 1, I just pull out my sword, cast light on it again with the black light effect, and then start running it through the fog. Like, I am going to stab any Mind Flayers that yeah.
It was just a 10, so mid understanding of this fog.
Quincy, A, that was hilarious. B, Tilda, that is perfectly in line with where it should be. It does appear to be coming out of the ground, but it is getting denser as you guys move more southbound. Almost as though there is maybe a catalyst more south towards Redoran, which is where you guys are heading currently.
Quincy, you should stab the ground. You should
You-
stab
you-
the ground. See what happens.
You saw something? Okay,
Yes,
I'm going
I saw a spider, a real big one.
I'm going to attempt to stab the ground and see if it has any effect on the fog.
Roll to hit.
Okay, that's a total 13.
As you swing down with your sword, make a perception check real quick, Quincy.
6.
Good.
These
Good.
rolls are
You got to stop saying good when we roll low. I'm not a big fan of it.
Good.
Whenever you swing your sword down, Quincy, in your mind, just for the briefest of moments, it almost looks as though a gnarly boned hand grabs the sword, but right as it plunges into it, and then immediately dissipates. But you are the only person who can see this, and it very well may have been a figment of your imagination.
Did anyone see that?
No.
What?
I
You
saw some
stabbing
sick
the
sword
ground?
moves. Good job, Quincy. Going after
I-
those spiders.
I pivot the sword, aiming it at the ground again. There was a skeletal hand that grabbed my sword. I am going to freak.
Quincy, do you maybe sit down for a minute? I think the stress might
No,
be getting to you.
no, it grabbed my sword. It's obviously hostile. I need to finish this.
Buddy, did you...
Abydan, what are you going crazy for?
I can determine if there was a skeleton hand there or not.
Oh, do you have a spell called Detect Skeleton?
No,
Guess what? You're going to find 5 of them.
no, none of us are undead.
Yeah, but we still got
Are we?
skeletons.
We're still skeletons. Or are we trapped in the skeleton?
I don't care if you're casting
I'm not
obliterate.
casting anything.
I don't know. What spells do you have?
It's not a spell. It's just something I can do. I'm gonna close my eyes for a second and open my senses. I will use my Paladin class feature, Divine Sense. If there are celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet of me, I know where they are for the next 12 seconds.
Yep. As you do so, you do not sense any whatsoever. But Abydan, while you go into your meditative state for just a brief moment, in your head and your head alone, you hear a shrill scream of someone who is in distress. But then it passes, immediately passes, just as quickly as how it came.
Buddy, did you rub some plants on Quincy?
No, I did not. That was all me, baby.
I will just continue stabbing the ground.
I'm gonna try.
Helaena is
secretly...
frantically trying to stop him.
When
I'm gonna
go ahead, Quincy.
No, you...
or wait, not Quincy, buddy.
No, Abydan. Abydan will advance the story. I'll just do a prank.
But that advances
our lives.
Of a story.
Exactly.
Fine. If that's the case, then I'm going to try to stealthily cast Mage Hand to wrap its hand around Quincy's ankle.
Goated.
Roll for stealth.
Stealth. That is a slutty 20.
My passive is 11, so
Yep, that passes. So Mage Hand goes off without Quincy being aware of it.
Well, no, I am aware of it.
But Mage Hand only has 3 fingers.
Yes. I'm sorry. Quincy is very aware of this happening. It is just unclear how this is happening.
I'm like jerking my my foot up and trying to like blow at it. You know what I mean?
Quincy, if you don't control yourself, soldier, I'm going to have to control you for you.
Yeah, Quincy, get it together. Get it together.
Quincy,
Abydan,
nothing there.
No, there's something. Well, there was
3 head.
Wait, what do you mean there's something?
Did you feel a tingle?
I heard something when I opened my senses. There aren't any undead or celestials or fiends around us, but there was a response of some kind. Someone is in pain. I can't tell exactly where, but they were screaming.
Okay.
So you opened your senses to do something, and it gave you back something that you can't normally. Okay, so 2 of us are going crazy. Do we need to?
Did it give you a direction, like where you think the screaming might have come from?
To the left.
To the left.
Take it back now, y'all.
Yeah, what direction?
No, that was just a really good point from Chaz.
Oh,
I think south, because he said it looks like it's denser the more we go that way.
I have one further question, DM.
Yeah.
When Quincy stabs the ground, do I hear the scream, or is it just the scream is gone?
It was just whenever you opened your mind to your paladin power.
It was a very brief moment of contact, but it was there.
How many times can you open up your senses like that?
5 more times. 4 more times.
Okay, do you think we could walk a little bit south where it's getting a little bit denser and maybe try to open up again and see if it gets louder or prolonged or anything like that? Give us a sense of direction?
That's
a good
amenable
idea,
to
buddy.
me. Good job, buddy.
Quincy finally coming to his senses sees that the hand only has 3 fingers.
I'm going to raise up and tickle his chin.
Like glares at Buddy and just kind of smacks him upside the head. I can roll for attack if you need.
This convinces Helaena even more that first where he was like, I saw a skeletal hand coming out of the ground, that Quincy is starting to crack under the pressure very quickly.
As we walk, I do have a question. So didn't they say something about some insects rotting the trees in the forest?
Yes, they did. Yes.
What was it,
do
like
we
some
think
kind
the
of locust?
forest is like fighting against it, or it's a reaction, or the insects are getting your feet, Quincy, coming after your sword?
Can a forest fight?
Well, if the fight happens in a forest, it does make sounds.
Only you can prevent forest fights.
That's true.
It's a good
I
point.
tend to just cause them.
Okay.
Tilda, to answer your question, yes, it has been known, or the reports originally came that there were some sort of insect plague, something or another. This came from Alua Predri, that there were sightings of this happening all around you guys within the Red Benavix Forest. So just to be careful.
But we haven't seen any yet.
No, you all have not seen it.
Well, they said it was all over, but I'm not seeing any yet, and seeing is believing. So,
As a member of the priesthood, I would take issue with that statement. But
You don't have a god. You have no patron.
there's a very big difference between believing in a deity and having a patron.
is the fog getting thicker as we walk down this here pathway or whatever?
Yes, it is. So you guys are on the southern road that leads to Redoran, which also then becomes the southern junction to Uto. As you guys are on this southern path, you guys pass for about 2 hours. It's just increasingly getting denser. Yeah, Quincy, then Helaena.
So we are heading deeper into the forest right now.
That was my understanding of what the party had said, yes.
Okay. During that time, have we seen any other side of life aside from animals?
Well, there are some specific animals that are acting a bit peculiar that you may take note of. One specifically would be brush dogs, which are dog-shaped animals that are just covered in brush, like they look as though they would be bushes, that are running about, either in green or brown or this red that the Red Benavix Forest is known for. You see packs of them. You've seen 2 packs of them over the course of this 2 hours as they just dart like they're moving more south, moving southbound. You also do hear the groaner frogs, which are common over here, but they seem to be wailing in a little bit more of a high-pitched tone, almost sort of matching Abydan, what you heard. But what you heard was definitely a human or humanoid scream, not something that would have come from animals. The only other thing that you would have potentially have seen would be 2 or 3 Belfast deer, which are the deer that have the massive antlers, like moose-sized antlers, but they're deer, and they're typically a silver and gold fur color.
Now, is that antlers the size of full moose? Or...
No. Meese antler-sized antlers.
Okay. That's an important clarification.
Ignore. Abydan, all right, we've been walking for a few minutes. Can you sense it again and see if you get a scream or any kind? Sorry, Helaena, you're looking a little jumpy as well.
Yeah, before we do that, Helaena had their hand raised.
So 2 questions. 1, is the mist getting denser on the ground, or is it also getting higher?
Just denser on the ground.
Just denser. And the other question is, you mentioned, so the brush dogs are running south, so things are not fleeing away from the densification of the mist. They are going towards it.
Some appear to be running away. Again, the brush dogs would be moving away from it. But like bush-eared squirrels, the big-eared squirrels that have the hair that's poking out of their ears and stuff, they are running as far away from it as possible. The brush dogs are doing their own thing.
Okay, so it's not as if all of the animals of the forest are like, oh no, must run away from this dense mist, scary place.
Right.
Okay.
Buddy, in response to your question, I can do it again now. Yeah. Sure. I'll repeat the process. This time trying to focus the divine senses to my ears, I suppose. I guess, because that was what I heard initially.
Sure. Can you describe your meditative state real quick?
It's not necessarily a meditative state. It's more of a
just in a tuning, right?
Yeah, it's like there's a pond, right? That pond is me, and as I open my senses, a drop of water falls into the pond, and it causes it to ripple outwards.
That's a really cool analogy for that.
So I'm sensing the ripples is essentially what's going on.
Yeah, okay, cool. So, again, it's been about 2 hours since you guys attempted this last. Now you guys are walking at a casual pace, being very much so on your guard. I would say more than a casual pace, probably a slow pace. Just being on your guard as all this happens. Abydan, you don't sense any celestial, undead, or fiend, anything like that. The fog, I'll allow a second Arcana roll here in just a minute. Don't go ahead and make it now. I'll call for it in a second here. But you do not hear the scream this time.
It's quiet right now, but that doesn't mean we're not heading in the right direction.
Helaena.
As we walk, Helaena is keeping her eyes out for things that she knows are edible, kind of like picking them up and wrapping them in cloth and putting them in her pack, because she's fully anticipating that they're going to spend potentially a significant amount of time here, and knows that they don't have the resources at the moment.
Yeah, you would gather, you can add this to your inventory as well, Theron bushes, or Theron berries from the Theron bush. They are blue and pink berries, very similar to dragon fruit, but much, much, much smaller. And then you also will gather red, yellow, and brown lion scam flowers. They're flowers that look to be the face of lion folk. But you know that that the roots of those would produce some sort of meat substitute. Tilda.
While we're looking around, which animal did you say is acting the most peculiar?
Probably the brush dogs. Yeah,
Brush
dogs that are running towards this.
Okay.
But they're not the only animals that are running towards it. You also have the smoke pandas that are doing the same thing. The smoke pandas are just gray panda-like creatures.
Well,
yeah.
I want to cast
They're
Speak
jumping
with
from tree to tree.
Animals because I realized now that I needed to choose my cantrips and prepare my spells, and I was like, why aren't my first level spells there? That's why. So I want to cast Speak with Animals, and I want to speak with a brush dog.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Cool.
And so I cast it, and I calmly, as you would approach a dog-like creature, with your hand out, and you're like, here, sniff my hand. I'm like, hey, what are you running from or to? Like, what's going on? I can tell you're upset. What's happening? Can we help?
The spiders.
The spiders? What about the spiders? Are they coming towards us? Are we going towards them? Are they hurting y'all?
The spiders in Everon.
Does anyone know what the spiders in Everon means?
It's a band.
You're not wrong.
Would I know?
Go ahead and make a history roll, Quincy.
Okay. Something above a 10. 18. 18.
Nice. With your 18, you do remember faint stories of a minor farming village. It's not even a minor town, named Everon, that produce red potatoes, blue cabbages, and other produce that's produced there and everything. It's only a settlement of about maybe 6 buildings at most. But they did have a glorious fountain that was given by that's been passed down from generation to generation of the family Evest. E-V-E-S-T. Evest. Some spiders may be involved there. The brush dogs are maybe going to assist. It's unknown.
Was the fountain of any,
historical significance?
Yeah.
It's more of an Ebenezer or just a landmark that was placed there by the Evis family. to make sure that they knew where their roots were, because it's the in between point between it's one of the in between points between Everil and Red. There are a few other minor farming villages and other outcroppings that surround there. Evest is just one of those.
Okay.
Before one of the brush dogs runs off, I am also clearly trying to give it scritches. But I also want to ask, do you know where the fog is coming from? Is this normal?
No, the fog is not normal. No.
Is it hurting the forest?
No, not hurting the forest. Hurting the magic.
They said the fog is hurting the magic. I guess, should we go to Everon to see about these spiders? Should we keep heading? Is Everon south? Are we going?
You guys
in that
are
direction?
still yes, it is south, and it is about a day's. It's on the southern road that you guys are on, but it is about a day's walk still. So you guys will hit Everon one way or another, unless you veer course and just start trotting through the woods randomly, which you could do, but
Don't railroad me.
no, I'm just saying you
I
could
want to
do
go
it.
through the woods.
Go through the woods.
Walk in the
Helaena. Are there, speaking of Everon, are there like patrols that make their way down that? Like if we head on down, are there going to be like soldiers that we might run into on these roads or any kind or things like that?
Not as far as I'm aware.
Tilda, why don't you ask the nice brush dog if there's any like plagues of insects, because we haven't really run into them yet.
Brush dog. What is your name? I am rude. I'm so sorry.
My name is Herrix.
Great. That is, that's a beautiful name. Have you heard of anything of an insect plague that is plaguing the forest? We were told to be wary of it, but we have not seen any signs.
Yes, the insects. Farther south they are.
Are they also spiders?
No, flying creatures.
Thank you. You've been very helpful.
What did it say?
Immediately runs off to join the rest of the pack.
I relay that information to the rest of the group.
Flying insects?
And spiders, my two favorite things.
I hate to break it to you, but it was kind of silly that you asked if the spiders were the insects. That's all I'm going to say.
I was going to bring it up, but I'm choosing to not pound on every small detail. So.
Listen, when you could talk to the brush dogs, you get to ask what you want.
I don't need to talk to a brush dog to know what it has to say.
What does it have to say, buddy?
It has to say that there are bugs in Everon or something like that. I don't know. It just said it on its face.
Given my lack of understanding towards what a metaphor is, I think talking to animals is,
Hey, listen,
much
I've
better.
met a four. It's you right here.
Tilda,
Thanks.
how potentially upset will you be if we have to hunt and kill something to eat?
It will be
Ooh.
fine.
What if she talks to it, lures it in, becomes friends with it, and then we jump in and stab it?
That was not.
Buddy.
No,
That
we
is
would not be doing that.
incredibly dark.
I can only
Tilda,
talk to
are you-
animals for 10 minutes at a time. I will be fine. I am not strictly vegetarian. I was given whatever food was available. I've truly become friends with the city animals. I do like all animals, but I understand what it takes to survive. So I would rather eat something nice than dirt and water.
I'm pretty handy with a bow if it comes to that.
Ooh, I can shoot purple, pink stuff out of my hands now. I can do that.
I mean, yeah, that's more effective at killing, but
But do we
could
know if it affects
explode.
the taste?
It could cook
Yeah.
the
Well,
animal at the same time.
Culinary arts aside, we do have a decision to make on whether or not we're going to Everon.
Well, I think we're gonna hit it anyway if we
Yeah,
keep
I think we
walking
need to
in
go
this
to
direction.
Like, we need to find the spiders in the mine that's there or something.
Why?
I heard because it's a minor town, so the spiders are probably going to be in the mine.
That's not the why I'm asking. Why do we need to find spiders? Why are we running towards the spiders?
Well, because that's the only way we're going to get answers of what's going on.
It
Where did-
seems that the fog is going from that direction, and it's draining the magic. It's hurting the magic.
It
Then why
realistically, we've got one lead. We left the city with Abdullah. What was her name? Alua. Where she gave us one lead, and that was that there are things happening in the forest. Now, I don't know about you, but if I'm directionless, I'm going to get myself into trouble. So I'm going to try to at least, pursue what happens. And then there might be a reward. We might be able to set ourselves up to go someplace far away. This could be what pays us, where we can get a ship and we can go to, Salem Pravati, where we can forget about everything.
We are literally on Salon Pravati right now. You do realize that?
No, we're not.
Who is
We're on
going to give us
Umbardoon.
a reward? We have been
We're on
explicitly
Umbardoon.
banished by the royal family, and am I the only one still reeling from the loss of a life that I put quite a bit of effort and time into? You all seem perfectly happy to go off on this fanciful adventure like your lives didn't matter previously.
My life didn't matter previously. It didn't.
Had
Guess
just
what?
gotten out of
It
bondage.
does now.
I have a question.
Yes.
Who wants to get their old lives back?
I mean, I would like to.
No.
As would I, but I'm a soldier that's been banished by my commander-in-chief. That seems unlikely.
But your commander-in-chief was kind of awful.
And
was a
Not for
twerp.
1,000 years, he wasn't.
He was a twerp.
My father.
I believe that our
It's
best
supposed
course of
to.
action for regaining what we have lost is solving the whole, Mind Flayer puppeting, the new young king about.
That's not a bad point. Wait, Tilda, you just had a good point. How on earth did they know, do we know, that we really are bastards of King of Everil?
That has been at the forefront of my mind as well. I don't think I really have a connection with any of them right now. I mean,
I kind of look like the guy, and his ring fits.
His ring?
When did
Yeah.
What?
I just took it.
Okay.
from his body?
Yeah. He wasn't going to need it.
Dead body.
That's kind of impressive.
Like, all right, so I get it. Like, you're a halfling, you're a human, you're a elf human, those sorts of things. But I genuinely, when I looked at him, I saw myself in the reflection. Like, I had the nose, I had the eyes. He took a little bit better care of himself, but, at least it was an answer for me.
Well, and I suppose we're similar upbringings, different opinions on this then, Buddy, because neither of us ever knew our fathers, and would it be likely that a royal person could be mine? Certainly, but why then? Why at the moment of his death? Why not before?
And again, our half-brother, supposedly, I just I don't trust that he's even the king's son. Again, his mother was missing for a year. Anything could have happened, and there's a lot that's going on with this Mind Flayer and taking over. And do I want to go back to my old life? No, because I just got out of a terrible situation, and honestly, doing anything other than being in Everil sounds great, but I don't want to be killed. I have to survive, and this mist is the same color as our Mind Flayer friend, which leads me to believe they are connected in some way. So that's why we might be
Agreed.
going to the spiders.
I have another point that I want to bring up.
Can I ask a question real quick, Chaz?
Who's Chaz?
DM,
Yes.
how much would we potentially know about the customs of what happens with the royal family when they are pregnant? Do they sequester the queen away for a year until she gets, for the 9 months that she's pregnant and the 3 months of, the fourth trimester? What do we...
That leads me into a follow-up question.
I will attempt to answer both.
Did Evera have other, like, well-known, like, blood heirs? Or was Herrix supposedly the first?
So, in the history of Everil, King Evera Everil only ever took a total of 3 wives. The first 2 did not have children whatsoever within recorded history. And neither did the third, in theory, except for this new information that you all have received about Herrix Halbin Everil.
So he
in
was
terms
not
of
common
answering your
knowledge to the
no,
people?
no. Herrix Halbin Everil appeared the exact same day that you guys did. Helaena, to answer your first question there, is there any sort of precedent set for when or if the queen would be put on sabbatical, would sequester themselves? The answer to that is there's been no precedent.
Okay. Even nobles, I guess,
Nobles generally would have stayed.
Okay, so there's no particular customs surrounding pregnancy and that sort of stuff. Okay.
Correct.
I would not be asking that question if not for my profession, but I was curious.
Yeah, that's fair.
Continue.
Okay, so as you all are debating this, and whatnot, I will need a pretty clear answer from the 5 of you of are we heading more southbound to investigate the spiders, or do we trek through the forest? What's the vibe, gang?
South to the town,
Especially if it
or the
does.
hamlet is the technical term.
Right. Helaena, to answer your question from before, I very much want to get my life back, and there's a lot of questions I still have about this situation, but I still gotta have a little bit of fun with what I'm doing, or else, I don't know, you're not laughing, you're crying. I've heard that expression.
Oh, yes.
That's sad.
Either way,
Somebody.
Alua pointed us this direction, and for all intents and purposes, we believe that she was being genuine. She didn't tell us about any, contact or anything in the Red Benavix Forest, did she?
She just ensured that the guards would not be overly persistent in halting you guys upon leaving.
Well, either way, apparently I was given Benavix, and I have the key to it. So one way or the other, we have to find someone who can give us some answers. And this is the only lead we have so far.
DM, do we know if the keys have, literal meaning, or are they symbolic? Do they do something?
They all look to be identical skeleton keys with jewels encrusted in the turn mechanism.
Okay.
The same jewel?
Yes, it is an emerald in each.
Do we notice Quincy's key? Did you pull your key out?
I will now.
Does it do anything shiny?
No, nothing shiny right off.
I say we go to Everon and try and get some sort of answers.
I'll cede to the will of you all, because I have watched Quincy see skeletal hands, and I feel like you all might get yourselves killed.
The confidence is welcome.
Quincy, when you've worked with as many privates as I have,
I thought that was your mother that worked with privates.
I thought it was your mother who was forking them.
Ooh.
I can say that because
Sort
it was
of
my
yes
mother
to
too.
you, buddy.
No, it wasn't.
Damn. For shame. I expect this from Buddy Luckyhands, but you...
The voice of God above, no.
I did almost respond to that character. I was like, wait, he's not playing.
Sorry. Alright, cool. So, like I said, Everon, if that seems to be the general consensus, can I get a show of hands to Everon? Okay, that's everybody. Abbott, a question?
I just wanted to say that whatever is responsible for what's going on here, it's hurting someone, and it's a priest's job to help with the suffering. I'm not going to just abandon it. I vote south as well.
Very good. It seems unanimous at this point. You all begin heading down south. You all travel for another 2 hours, scouting about the land, and it is about dusk at this point. The days are falling shorter because it's in the other months, and you all hear a faint whistling, not like the whistling of wind through the trees, just a.
I hear a jaunty tune right now. Anyone else hear that?
I hear it.
Unfortunately, yes.
Jaunty is about the only word I would use to describe it.
Not a very big
Having
fan
a
of
good
it.
time.
Quincy,
I
you're
use spooky. Maybe.
you're musical. Do you know this song, Quincy?
Oh, hello!
Helaena
who are
draws her
you?
sword on instinct.
We're hello, friend.
Why,
We come in
hello,
peace. Hello, hello.
Oh, you come in peace. Hello.
Hello,
Hey.
are you one of the fine citizens of Everon?
Oh, no, I don't come from Everon. I've been camping here for the past few days.
You've been all right, first of all, brave. Second of all, we've been noticing some things, mostly some fog, maybe some skeleton hands. Have you seen or heard anything, maybe screams within your mind?
No, certainly not of any of that sort of thing. But here, let me make you all some tea. You seem tired from traveling.
Insight.
Inside.
Let me do it.
Also,
What, you don't trust me? Come on.
No,
Oh,
not as far as I can throw you, and I can probably throw you pretty far.
20.
that's a 6.
While they're checking
Did you say
insight,
nat 20?
I'd like to investigate anything that he has with him.
15 plus
Sure.
5.
that'll be a 19 total for insight on this strange campy man.
19 total as well.
Oh, I beat you all 20.
Hey, nice, buddy.
Okay, let's address Quincy's first, and then I'll give you guys the insight, right? Let's do that. Quincy, you're looking at the wares of this merchant traveler.
Ooh.
This merchant traveler seems to have some sort of cart with him, and he is camped out, as he did say, next to a small fire. Next to this small fire is what is called coned swirler bushes. They're about tree-sized bushes that intertwine to create a cone. Many are hollowed out to be temporary huts for locals or for travelers. He does have a quaint little fire sitting next to it as it is dusk, and he is genuinely, now to address those of you for insight, he seems to be very genuine in offering you all tea.
I don't trust him.
He seemed to be genuine. You have no reason to not trust him.
Except he's a traveler in an obviously
Accursed.
haunted forest.
I know that. Look, Abydan, what's up?
I will have some of your tea.
Ooh.
Helaena sheaths her sword, at least.
What's your name, friend?
Yes.
Indeed.
My name is Cordu Thimbalas.
Cordu Thimbalast.
Cordu
Interesting.
Thimbalas. No tea.
Of
No tea.
the Uto Thimbalasses?
That is correct. You're familiar with my family.
No, I guess from the accent.
Oh, well, very well. Hello, good friends. You all look at this person and realize that they are, in fact, a tiefling, a 6'11" tiefling, somewhere in their mid-50s with purple skin and 3 horns.
3 horns.
3 horns?
Where-
3 horns.
Like a
One
pirate
in
had
the
a
middle?
tri-horn.
One directly on top that sort of curls, and then the 2 on the side.
And what color did you say he was?
Purple skin.
He's a trident.
Yeah, it looks like a trident.
Well, what has led you to set
I'm
up
sorry,
shop
I wasn't
here?
expecting to stump you all with that description. That was dumb.
That is a dope traveling salesman. I love.
What has led you to set up shop here in the middle of a forest filled with scary, spooky black fog?
What black fog?
Excuse me?
Bull crap.
I mean,
check.
of course there's no black fog.
There's no black fog in Bossing Say.
There's, do you really not see any black fog? We see black fog, right? Still?
Purple and red.
Helaena, stay silent.
Quincy,
So-
a question?
I had specifically lit up my sword before I put it in the fog.
Yeah.
Was there any real interaction with it, with the light, or was it
certainly.
more like an illusion? Okay, so it was real fog.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
Now, Fred, you have not, you haven't seen any fog?
Only what is certainly just around at our ankles, as it always is. The simple gray-white fog. I've never seen any other color of fog.
Are
What you
you
describe as black fog, a fog, is a surprise to me.
Yes, black and red, specifically. The last time that we had encountered it, something very dangerous came out of it.
You'll have to excuse them, sir. We've been traveling for a while. I think they're just tired and maybe in need of water or something of the kind. And she sort of shoots a look over her shoulder at these people, going, "Don't mention the fog."
I believe that Helaena is right. We're all exhausted from traveling.
You ever heard of an Illithid?
Of an Illithid?
Yeah,
oh,
no.
yes, certainly. Of legends.
Yeah,
Conquerors of worlds, yes.
Yeah. I'm really interested in stories like that. Have you ever heard of any? Can you we've been on the road for a while. I've been just looking for a story. The last book I read was about Illithids. They've just been on my mind this whole road. Do you have any stories? I'm really desperate for one right now, honestly.
Well, be careful.
Certainly, I can tell you all a story of Illithids. They're common enough within legend and folklore. But here, first, have a seat with me. Have a seat and drink some tea. You all are not the first travelers that I've offered this to, but you all are far more kind than the last.
What did the last travelers do?
Oh, she was an odd sort. A very odd sort. Seemed to be some sort of priestess, murmuring things about a new king and this, that, and the other, but I dismissed it. Of course, said something about the death of the king, and then something of a Herrix, and I don't know what a Herrix is, but...
Did she have an air of I know more than you authority about her? And then also, did she collapse at any point randomly?
No, I don't recall any collapsing, but I do recall that sense of, yes, you're exactly right. A bit of an uppity.
Did she?
Yeah.
How are you aware the King of Everil has passed?
Oh, certainly not. That is just a mere rumor.
No, that's true. They rang the bells to signify his death, and his body was confirmed to be deceased.
No, certainly not.
Yeah, apparently, it was assassination by 6 people, is what I've heard. That's what it was a mob. It was crazy, right? And they were saying, "For death to the 6, death to the 6." We were we saw the gates. It was there were people all around it. And then when it was crazy.
That is the rumor.
When did this priestess come through? Was it recently? Was it weeks ago?
Oh, it wouldn't have been weeks ago.
Very, very recently. Very recently. Less than
today, right?
Less than 6 hours before you. Yes.
Yeah.
Did she give her name?
Oh, no. We didn't actually stop to chat. I just offered tea and then went on our way.
Which way?
direction?
Oh, southward. The same direction you all are heading.
I'll
Helaena
tell
goes
you.
and sits down, but does not
Yeah.
accept the tea.
I'm going to sit down and I'm going to set the tea. I'll tell you what, friend. Here's how about an exchange of stories? I tell you about the death of king of the King Everil, and you tell me a story about some illithids.
Helena's eyes creep up on her brow, going, "Oh boy, what story is Buddy going to tell?"
Well, very well. I'm happy to share some stories. I am just a traveling cured meat merchant. This is what I do for a living. I love speaking to people.
Yeah, you love meeting people, am I right?
That's right.
Quincy rubs a piece of fleece in his pocket and casts Minor Illusion and does a rim shot.
Love it. So yeah. Cordu sits down and gets the fire stoked a little bit more, gets it warm for you guys. And it is somewhat damp in the forest. Not quite misting, but just where the moisture in the air is sort of lingering on your clothes and everything for a time. He sits down and, Buddy, would you like to go first of telling stories, or would you like me?
So once upon a time, about 14 hours ago, there was a king who was alive. And now this is I'm just speculating. I'm speculating rumors that, the king never really had any offspring. He's the 1,000-year king. He's been along for so long. You were shocked. We were all shocked. When we heard the bells start ringing, we ran up and there were people coming out of the gates, and they were saying things like the king was dead and he named bastards to divide up the kingdom. That's what there was a jester there. He talked to somebody who was giving up a lot of information. I talked to him right after, and the crowd was just screaming death to the six. Now, I don't know if you know, but deep within the castle walls, when we looked up, there was this mist, like a blood mist, oozing from the windows, and I could have sworn that I heard screams of pain. Now, apparently, one of those bastards, maybe not a bastard, was a little boy named Herrix. And he apparently is this evil sorcerer who is able to control the minds of mortal men. And what he did was he took over. He killed the king, his alleged father, and he took the throne, and he is now the evil ruler over all of Everil, while these bastards who were given a chance were either slaughtered or escaped. We haven't heard much about him since, but apparently the people who walked out of there and who talked to the jester, there was I think it was there was a tiefling like you, but only 2 horns, and I think there were 2 dwarves, maybe, and I think 1 elf and a half.
Well, there was also it wasn't a half elf. It was a giant mutated rat going by Lord Shiver.
Oh, Lord Shiver, yeah. Now,
your stories are far more entertaining than mine.
Well, and while this is going on, I'm gonna ask the DM to make a roll if you would make a roll for your character. Could you roll a perception check to see if you notice that Buddy is wearing the signet ring? Because I feel like he's talking with his hands.
This can only
sure.
I feel like also he would notice that
my hands are
fingers.
Here. I don't know how to share this with you guys besides just sharing my screen. I rolled a natural 20. I do not have my physical dice in front of me, and I know that is a for shaming thing. I do not have my physical dice.
It's
so
because
anyway,
he noticed your fingers were missing, and he was like, "What is that on your hand?"
Yeah. So it's crazy, right? Apparently these people, they're they should be rulers, but something happened. There it is. Crazy, right? Can you believe it? Can you believe it? I didn't believe it when I first heard it, but
I mean that is mighty remarkable.
It's crazy.
So this child is now the king?
I would describe him more just from the stories that he's more like evil king / sorcerer / usurper / dickhead.
Well, right. Well, he certainly sounds like it.
Yeah.
If he's taken over all of Everil, he's got to be stopped.
Well,
Yeah.
that's an interesting prospect. There were a lot of people talking about revolution when we were walking away. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, that revolution's been coming for a long, long time. A lot of people have been happy with Shaverra Everil, but over the past 2-3 years, since he started aging rapidly, people are concerned. They were concerned that he'd die. And sure enough, as your story would suggest, he's dead.
Crazy. Yeah, I grew up in the shadow of the tower, and it was, when I was a child, I remember it being like, this great thing, this noble thing. But as, you get older and you get poorer, you start to realize that, hey, maybe the bourgeoisie isn't all it's cracked up to be.
You just used a word I don't know.
Maybe the royalty has a bit of a stick shoved away up their butt. Yeah.
Well, I've quite thought that myself for a while now, just because of the trading taxes and everything. But
it's crazy.
It's all for the sake of Everil being prosperous. So we roll with it.
Prosperous.
The city of prosperity.
Yeah.
So, Cordu, now that we have told you our story, what about you tell us your story?
Oh, my stories are simple. I'm just a traveling. Well, my brother has a farm. My brother's farm is it's a cattle farm. Well, cattle mixed with bear-flesh deer and whatever else meats we can sort of get. We dry them out, we suntan them, and then we.
No. I was asking about your story of the Illithids. That's what we were asking you about. I would love to hear about your brother's health later.
Yeah, his meat cute or whatever it was.
Well, just from in passing of stories, from what I've heard, once upon a time there was a man. Well, this man became something more. Became something more than what most mortal beings could be. Became an Illithid, or a Mind Flayer, a mind ruler. They're sadistic aberrations, feared by sentient creatures on many worlds across all universes, due to their powerful psychic abilities. From their twisted layers deep in the underdrow, these alien entities, well, they seek to expand their dominion over all lives. Horrible creatures. They control their minds to use them as obedient slaves. And they consume their victims' very personality by extracting their sentience, their brains.
2 questions, DM.
Sure.
One is out of character, one will be in character.
Okay.
First
Question.
question.
Meta question first. Yeah.
Am I feeling any effects from drinking this tea?
Oh, no. This tea is a harmless tea from what you can gather.
Sleepy time.
Well, it is a little bit of a calming tea. It's made of Burflask mushrooms, named after the Burflask deer. They are large mushrooms that, when cooked, taste like meat. But he has seasoned it in such a way with basically cinnamon and nutmeg to where it almost has a Christmas time-esque feel to it, but has a savory sort of aftertaste, almost as though you're hankering for more of the meat.
Okay.
As an avid tea drinker, I now want this tea.
That does sound good.
Thank you.
And then in character, or do You say there are stories of this possession and control. Do the stories tell of what signs or symptoms of control that a Mind Flayer may have?
Well, I mean, despite the obvious sprouting the tentacles from their face, acting irrationally, staking claims to thrones, and generalized, well, there's one slight thing.
Different colored eyes, maybe?
How'd you know?
And there it is.
It just felt like it. You're such a good storyteller that it's like I was able to figure out what the next step was.
It was written all over your face.
Yeah, you started to subtly move your hands towards your eyes.
There.
Gordu's eyes are both the same color, right?
That is correct. They both have the same golden coloration.
Well, that's a question answered.
Man, it was great talking to you. It was wonderful.
Oh, likewise to you all, my friends. Would you all care to stay in my hut or in one of the nearby cones?
Sibling huddle real quick.
Oh, your siblings. How
Wait,
sweet.
glares
We
at
love a
Quincy.
good family road trip.
No.
Christmas family
We're not,
vacation.
we're not related, but we're so close of friends that we refer to each other as, brother, sister.
Yeah. Well, Abydan and I are actually second cousins. So that's where that's kind of like that family joke kind of evolved to all of
And
us.
I
I
pull him-
see the
I pull him
noses.
into this.
I see the noses. I should have picked it out earlier. I
Yep.
see the noses.
I pull Buddy right into the huddle. Okay, what are we doing with this guy? Are we going to stay with him overnight?
Well,
We're
it's
not going
getting
to stay
dark.
with him. We're going to stay in a cone next to him.
Whether we stay overnight or not, we probably should see if we can get some of his meat and take it.
I
with
bet
us.
you
It'll
would
save
like
us
that,
money.
Helaena.
Buddy, I swear
Yeah.
to all the gods there are, even the ones that haven't claimed Abydan yet.
That's all of them.
Thanks.
Exactly.
Really appreciate it.
We could do with a rest. It might be smart to let the events that have happened previously settle into our psyches, whether we rest here or somewhere down the road.
Well, I would. An extra set of eyes, one would be good. And also, Abydan, you hoity-toity full-blood elves, you don't have to sleep as long as the rest of us, right?
No, I can become in a trance state is the best way to put it.
Yeah. So if we want to do watch, we can Abydan only needs half the rest that we do. So we can just kind of have someone do we could do honestly an hour each, and then Abydan can do the last 4.
What? Also, as a member of the military, I assure you, I need less sleep than the rest of you. So Abydan and I can split that last watch if we must.
But from a game design perspective of the 5e,
Do you think this is a game?
Character development perspective.
As a gamer, I don't sleep at all. Just
My
We
Mountain Dew
survive on
keeps me
Mountain
awake.
Dew.
I have a class feature called Tired All the Time.
Have a class feature called Depression.
Yes.
Now, we certainly could set up a huddle. No, we're in the huddle. We could set up a watch system. And Abydan, if you would take the last 4 hours, because we all want to sleep.
Wait. Cordu, come join the huddle.
No.
No.
Wait.
Oh, he's here.
Cordu.
He's here.
Sorry, Cordu.
No, just 1 second. Then he can leave the huddle. If we stay in the cone next to you, we would set up a watch system. Do you think you would would you be trusted of us to set up a watch system? I want to make sure that you feel safe with us here.
I mean, are you gonna try and kill me?
No.
You
Why would
gonna
we do
try and
that?
steal my goods?
No.
And yeah,
All right. Thank you. You can leave the huddle now.
I'm
Buddy?
leaving the huddle.
As Cordu walks away, Helaena glares at Buddy and says, "Buddy, You don't need to tell everybody everything. Don't do that again.
Transparency is the key to life.
No, transparency is the key to death and dying. Keeping your plans within your squad is the key to success.
I'm just saying that I have trusted most every single person I have ever met, and I've only lost 3 fingers. If what you're saying is true, I would be dead.
And it is like late evening at this point, is that right?
It was dusk whenever you guys first sat down to talk to him and everything. I'm going to say that it is now dark enough to where we can say that, yeah, it would be about that time.
Okay.
It's about 8 p.m.
And how much farther would Everon be?
You'll arrive there tomorrow by about noon.
Okay. All right. I believe that this would probably be the safest place, especially if we set up a good watch. And I'm fine with taking the first watch if you want.
So we stay, we rest, but we keep our wits about us.
Correct.
Agreed.
Well, let's go in a cone.
Watch after Quincy.
After you all go ahead and so your campfire is made for you guys, and Cordu is going to be very happy to share the cured meats that he had prepared for himself with you all. That way that you guys have an amount of a good dinner here. So what he's going to do next is he's going to go ahead and start chopping into one of the cone swirler bushes. That way ends up creating about 2 of the cone swirl bushes. That way there's room enough for all 5 of you to sleep comfortably, even on watch shifts and everything. They can usually only hold about 2 people per cone. So, that sort of works out. With that being said, who is taking first watch? Raise your hand. Quincy. Okay. Quincy, you take first watch. Very good. Who's taking second? Helaena. And third? Okay. Tilda and Buddy. Tilda and Buddy both. And then fourth watch goes to Abydan. Cool. All right.
And before we say that, the rest happens or whatever,
yeah.
I do have something, but...
yes. No, go ahead.
So I guess as we're cleaning up after dinner, getting ready for the night, and everyone else is kind of going into the cone swirler. Quincy will stop Abydan on his way in and just say, "Hey, you mind talking for a minute?"
No, not at all. What's up?
Quincy will just be sitting kind of in front of the now doused campfire, I'm assuming, so that it doesn't roar back up.
Yes.
And he'll just stare off into it for a minute. How do you feel about all this? You and I, it seems, are the only 2 that really came from established families. I mean, doesn't it seem a little bit far-fetched? We haven't even really been able to catch our breath since Queen Dahlia read the will. I mean, do you think that this is real? What are your thoughts?
The way I look at it, it doesn't matter at this point if it's real or not. It's happened, and we have to live with it. The people that I knew as my family, they're still part of my family. It's just gotten messier, I suppose. I don't know what the fates have in store for us, or even if there is a fate being made for us. What I know is that we're stuck together for now. God's willing, we'll get to the bottom of this mess.
Yes, God's willing. I don't know. Everything just seems off. I mean, you're supposedly half my blood, but just I don't believe that. I mean, no offense to you, but you're not my brother.
None taken, but I think there's something we've overlooked in all of this. It doesn't matter if our fathers were kings or not. Our mothers were still our mothers. Our siblings from her are still our siblings. That won't change.
Yeah. Yes. You're right. I just wish I could talk to my mom again. She'd probably have some words of encouragement right now. I'm just a little bit shaken. I won't keep you much longer. What was your relationship with your parents? Specifically your father, I mean, yeah.
Davian, you mean?
Yes.
He was my father. He was a good one. I think, deep down anyway, he always knew that I wasn't his. I think everyone knew. But it didn't matter. They loved me all the same. In this messed up world, some people say that blood is thicker than water. I figured out now that that's not true. They accepted me as their son, as their brother, Damaris, Lithana, all of them. I may be the son of Avara Everil, but I am a scion of House Renevar, through and through.
I believe your people would say amen to that.
Probably. I'm not much of a prayer, though.
Really? Do you think that that's why you haven't been chosen?
No. It's because I'm actively bad at praying. Is why I'm not much of a prayer.
Well,
I can't tell you why I haven't been chosen, no more than I can explain the principles of gravity to you on an isometric plane.
I'm sure you could, though.
Give me an apple.
My mother always said that power was in the words. So, I don't know. Perhaps choose the words that you say before you say them.
Words are good, but true power is in the deed.
I guess we'll see. Anyway, thanks, Abydan.
You're welcome.
Have a good night, brother.
You too. Rest well.
After that conversation, the watch begins. The watches go completely uneventful for the first 3 till we get to Abydan's watch.
Uh-oh.
Yay!
Abydan, in this brief moment while you were watching as the morning is about to arise within the next 2 hours or so, you're able to quietly watch, but you feel yourself moving into said meditative state that you went with beforehand. You hear the scream again. Very shrill, very prolonged, and then suddenly cut off. But this time, with your senses being a little bit more attuned to listening to it, maybe this isn't, it certainly is a cry for help, but maybe it isn't necessarily something that's happening actively, but maybe a premonition. Make an insight roll.
All right.
Is that a natural 20 that I see?
That is a natural 20 that you do be seeing.
Way to go! We love a natural 20.
The power of Taliesin Jaffe filled me for a second there.
This most certainly is a premonition. This is something that has been rumored amongst your people, amongst the people of your religious order, that can happen to certain individuals when they are being chosen by a deity.
Ooh, he didn't even have to pray.
You're unsure of who this deity would be as of yet, but you now do feel blessed by some sort of god that is there, that has given you a glimpse into the future of something that will be happening very soon.
This may be presumptuous of me, DM, but is it possible now hearing it a second time, hearing that cry, can I tell if I am familiar with this voice or if it's a voice I've never heard before?
This would be a voice you've never heard before.
Voice never heard before.
That's a good question.
Is there a follow-up question? And then I think that's all I can ask.
Yeah.
Is there anything distinctive about the voice?
As you listen to the cry and really hone in on it, and I'm only giving you this because you got the natural 20, you are able to tell that this cry is actually 3 at once. A mother and 2 children. With that being said, the watch is over. It is morning. Cordu is there, making you all a breakfast tea. And, yeah, that's about it.
Since he didn't try to kill us in our sleep, Helaena actually sits down and drinks the tea this time.
Oh,
Quincy.
very good.
Also same.
Quincy does too.
Who kept farting in their sleep last night?
Oh, that was you, buddy.
I knew it.
I
I didn't want it to be the
The
truth.
tea that is being passed out to you guys now is of the Lunima flower, Lunima or Lunima flower, Lunima flower. Similar to the Esteluma tree, this flower's petals emit an iridescent mint green glow under the light of Arlig Onum. So it's a mint-ish type tea that's meant to be awakening to the brain.
Do my nostrils deceive me, or is this tea made from the petals of the
Lunima. Lunima.
The lemon lime?
I understand that Elvish
Well, your
is...
nostrils would be right.
Got a fine pair of sniffers on me.
Hey, Cordu.
Yeah.
Good morning. What color is the fog? Just making sure you got a nice rest. Just
Well,
instead
there's
of
no-
being like just
there's no-
foggy.
The only fog here is just the damp dew that's on the leaves and is on the ground. And you all notice that as well, that there is no more fog.
Sorry, I was just there was sleep in my eyes. This tea is wonderful.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
You gotta send me the descriptions of the tea and I'll try to blend them for us to try.
Got you.
Merch.
How far away is Everon from this place? This here spot?
According to my calculations, we will be there by noon if we start soon.
Be there by noon. Now I have about 4 copper pieces. How much meat will that buy me?
4 copper pieces. Well, that'll buy you a. That'll buy you a few. You know what? You all were such great bunk mates. I'll go ahead and give you a ration each of cured Burflast deer jerky.
That is very generous of you.
That is very generous.
Is that for the 4 copper, or is that just free?
Well, I gotta make a living. Of course, it's for the 4 copper.
Here you go. Here's 4 copper. 1, 2, 3, 4. One of them is like one of them stayed in my
Looks
cup holder
bent.
a little bit too long, and it's got like that little that green residue on it because I had a can of Coke.
Love it. Yes.
Well, I think we ought to be hitting the road. Honestly, like if we head up this way, I genuinely hope we see you again.
Likewise to you all. I hope that you all have a great rest of your sibling outing.
Now, yes, Cordu, where are you headed now?
Well, I'm still heading to Everil, I reckon. I've got to make my trades.
Well, be careful there. There may be a lot of unrest there, as we have said. But if we ever
As your
meet you again,
story said.
that's what I said. Either way, if we ever meet again, you have a friend in us.
Well, very well, and very much so. Thank you. I'm very glad to have made your company. That was quite lovely. You all take care now, and travel safe on to wherever it is that you're going.
Yeah, you know, when the road looks tough ahead and you're miles and miles from a nice warm bed, you just remember what your old pal said, because you've got a friend in us. Great bard Randius Numaeus said that.
One of the court's favorites.
He also said short people got no reason to live, but you know what? I have 4 reasons to live right in front of me. 5, including you.
Oh.
Oh, well, that's mighty kind there of you. I don't believe I ever got any of your names.
You got my name. We established pleasantries.
We established pleasantries? Okay, great. Well,
You
thank
know
you
my
there,
name
buddy.
is Oscar.
Well,
I don't
thank
know.
you there,
It feels
Oscar.
very interesting if we didn't introduce ourselves the night before.
I totally
like
would have
that.
given him a fake name.
Oh, no, absolutely. I 100% believe I'm seeing nods. Most of you would have given fake names, which is very fun.
My name is
my-
Oscar the Unlucky Foot.
My name was Oscar the Regular Foot.
Mhm. They call us the Academy Awards.
I would have given
'Cause we're the
Gisela
Oscars.
Harper.
You would have said what, Helaena?
Gisela Harper.
Mine would be Dan Abbey.
And this is Tilda Fairfoot.
No, this is. My name is Connie Constance Montgomery. Oscar.
That
Which one?
Tilda who?
Well,
I'm going. Bye, Cordu. It was nice meeting you. The team was lovely.
I'm gonna go catch up with her, make sure she doesn't fall in a hole
I
that's more
haven't
than
gone
3 feet
that
and get
far
stuck.
because I'm just.
Quincy will just roll his eyes. Tilda's, am I right?
Oscar, I understand, buddy. And other Oscar, it was a pleasure to meet you. Gisela, Dan, and Connie, y'all are a wild hoot. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Y'all safe travels, please.
Toodaloo.
Thanks.
Yeah, Helaena packs up and with a very pointed look over her shoulder to the rest of her squad, begins to walk.
Oh, I've been walking. I was mad.
But yeah,
well,
you're
it's not
gone,
gonna
but
take us long
those
to catch
three.
up.
I'm not very far ahead of y'all, just enough that I'm like,
Abydan will just be like, Gods be with you. And then he'll immediately turn on his heels and follow after Helaena.
like the gods even talk to him. Why did they?
While we're catching up, while we're catching up with Tilda, I will be, suddenly casting minor illusion in front of Buddy, where just like 5-foot cube of skeletal arms are trying to grab for him, but just
Oh
love
no, these creepy, spooky skeletons are trying to grab my unlucky feet.
Oh, goodness. You all travel for, it's about 8 a.m. by the time that you guys are leaving. You guys travel for approximately 3 hours. It's about 11 a.m. now. And suddenly, you all hear a shrill scream.
Abydan, was that the scream?
Is that the scream?
Abydan, that is the scream.
Which direction is it coming from?
The direction you guys are exactly facing. And with that being said, my friends, I can't imagine a better place for us to end tonight's session.
no.
Come on.
Where is it going to lead?
I can't imagine a better place for us to end tonight's session. Thank you guys so much for playing tonight. This was a lot of fun. Yeah. The first thing that we do next session is going to be encountering whoever is giving this shrill scream and
I
figuring out.
cast Power Word Kill.
I beg your pardon, you do.
I cast power
My gosh.
counterspell.
Anyways, thank you guys so much for listening in. Stay tuned for the next episode. Y'all have a great night.
Bye.
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 Ciao.
Hello. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast. If you liked what you've heard, you can always support us by liking, commenting, subscribing, rating us, and telling your friends, and all the other things that people always ask for. You can also follow us on Instagram at bardoon.adventures. That's BARDUN.adventures. If you enjoyed the music featured in this podcast, you might consider supporting the creator, Troy Drinkard, by contributing to his Patreon at Drinkard the Bard. That's DRINKARD, the Bard. Thank you so much for your support, and we'll see you next time.